Srimad Bhagavatam 5:14-39. Canto 5, chapter 14, text 39. Yat idam yoga anushasanam na va etat avarundhate yat nyasta dandaha munayah upashama shilaha uparata atmanah samavagachanti. Yadidam yoganuशासनम nava etad avarundhate yanyastadanda munaya upashamashila uparatatmanah samavagachanti. Yat, which, idam, this ultimate abode of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Yoga Anushasanam, only to be achieved by practicing devotional service. Na, not, va, either. Etat, this path of liberation. Avarundhate, obtain. Yat, therefore. Nyastadanda, persons who have given up envying others. Munayah, saintly persons. Upashamashilaha, who are now situated in a most peaceful existence. Uparata atmanah, who have control over the mind and senses. Samavagachanti, very easily obtained. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation: saintly persons who are friends to all living entities have a peaceful consciousness. They have controlled their senses and minds, and they easily attain the path of liberation, the path back to Godhead. Being unfortunate and attached to the miserable material conditions, a materialistic person cannot associate with them. Please repeat. Saintly persons who are friends to all living entities have a peaceful consciousness. They have controlled their senses and minds, and they easily attain the path of liberation, the path back to Godhead. Being unfortunate and attached to the miserable material conditions, a materialistic person cannot associate with them. Purport: the great saint Jadabharat described the great saint Jadabharat described both the miserable condition and the means to get out. The only way out of it is association with devotees, and this association is very easy. Although unfortunate people also get this opportunity, due to their great misfortune, they cannot take shelter of pure devotees, and consequently they continuously suffer. Nonetheless, this Krishna consciousness movement insists that everyone take to this path by adopting the chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. The preachers of Krishna consciousness go from door to door to inform people how they can be relieved from the miserable conditions of material life. As stated by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Guru Krishna Prasade Paya Bhakti Lata Bij, Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela, chapter 19, text 151. By the mercy of Krishna and Guru, one can get the seed of devotional service. If one is a little intelligent, he can cultivate Krishna consciousness and be freed from the miserable conditions of material life. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalaakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupah Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuthapadakammalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Ganaraghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijanasahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So it's a very important verse. Jadabhara's instructions to King Rahugana. So this verse actually goes in conjunction with the previous one. Here, the complete contrast is given as compared to the previous verse. How the devotees are very peaceful. You see, Yadidam yoganushasanam nava etat avarundhate yanyastadanda. So, yoganushasanam means only to be achieved by practicing devotional service. So, the abode of the Supreme Lord, bhaktyamam abhijanati. So, he says, only by bhakti, Krishna bhakti, we can actually associate with Krishna in his abode. Here, yoganushasanam is explained, mentioned, but Prabhupada translated as devotional service. Now, a person who is not a devotee, he will say, oh, this is by yoga. Why Prabhupada translated as devotional service? Because the highest yoga is bhakti yoga. Where is it stated? Bhagavad Gita, chapter 6, text 47, the last verse of the 6th chapter. Yoginam api sarvesham madgate nantaratmanam shraddhavan bhajate yomam same yukta tamo matah. And of all yogis, the one with great faith who always abides in me, thinks of me within himself, and renders transcendental loving service to me, he is the most intimately united with me in yoga and is the highest of all. That is my opinion. And my with a capital M is Krishna. So, Krishna's opinion is that the highest yogi is a devotee. Therefore, yoga yoganushasanam means by devotional service. Now, such people are avarundhate. Avarundhate means obtain. Nyasta dandaha, persons who have given up envying others. Another word, famous word in the Bhagavatam that is used for devotees in this way is nirmatsara. Nirmatsaranam satam. Matsarata means envy. In fact, matsya, fish, that is actually coming from matsarata. Because fish are always eating others. One fish eats other, and another fish eats other. In fact, in the Mahabharata, there is a mention of Matsya. What is it called? Matsya Dharma. Matsya Dharma means if there is no government, anarchy, then there will be Matsya Dharma. Means those who are stronger will just exploit and destroy the smaller. That's it. Like animals. In animal kingdom, the stronger will just attack the weak and we cannot do anything. For example, in human society, among men and women, of course the men are stronger. The women are not so strong. But we have civility because there is rules and regulations. In animal kingdom, there is no such thing. For example, a lion, you know how lion pride works, lion family? So one male lion will be there, many female lions. And with each, not one male, maybe sometimes 2, 3 males. Then they have female lions. So each lion will mate with the lion. And then they will have a few cubs. Now, if another male lion, so male lions, they're expelled from the pride after they are about 3 years old. They already are adults at the time, 3 years old. They only live for about 14 years max. So they're expelled. So the male are always kicked out from the pride, from the family, and then they have to wander and then take over some pride. They have to hunt themselves and then take over another pride. What is taking over a pride means? They have to fight the males in that pride and kill them or defeat them, chase them away, and then they take over the females. And you know how they take over the females? The female doesn't allow. The females don't allow. They will fight back. But of course, they cannot really fight back with the male because male is much stronger. And in order to mate with those females, this male will kill all the cubs of that female. Lion. Life is like this. This male lion, he will kill all the small cubs of that pride. And sometimes even eat. So they kill them completely. Then the female will want children, then he will mate with them. Nobody can do anything about it. That's their life. But in human life, of course, there are some rascals who are monsters like that. But they will be punished. Here there is civility. So otherwise, Matsya Dharma, stronger will, all out of envy. This is Matsarata. So, Nirmatsaranam Satam. Where is, first of all, this envy coming from? Why is everybody envious in this material? It's not that the human life does not have this envy. It has. Of course it has. In fact, what is envy? What is actually envy? Envy means when I want something and another person also wants that, then I have this envy. So originally, we are all part and parcel of Krishna. We are supposed to be his servants. That is our constitutional original position. But we became envious of Krishna. Why should I serve? I also want to be the Lord. So we want the same thing as what Krishna has. That's when envy started towards Krishna. So why should I serve? Why can't I be the Lord? When this tendency comes, of course the Lord will try his best to keep us there. But when he sees that, he doesn't force us anyway, either this way or that way. He will let us live. Now you may say, hey, that is a lie because here we are forced. Here we are suffering. He is making us suffer. Yes, we wanted to become the Lord. He could have given us something. Why is he making us suffer? Why is he we have no control. Like our body, we are not how we take birth. We have no control. He's forcing. How can you say he's not forcing? Actually, no. So if you really analyze the whole thing, he's not forcing. We forced ourselves. So how it happened is, so we wanted to be the Supreme Lord. Right? So in Vaikuntha, it's not possible. It's not factually possible. We just had this feeling that I want to be the Supreme Lord. and we wanted to accommodate our feeling rather than the facts. Feelings are more important than facts for idiots. So we have been an idiot, and we have been wanting that, oh, my feeling that I want to be the Lord is more important than the fact that He is the Lord. We are infinitesimal, we are minute, and He is infinite. So in Vaikuntha, the kingdom of God, there is no disparity in understanding. Everybody knows everybody is factually informed. They are factually informed. So they know He is the Supreme Lord and they serve. So in the Vaikuntha, there is no place for that to accommodate our feeling, our stupid feeling. So Krishna, He created the material world to accommodate us. Now, if I have to be the Supreme Lord in that material world, there have to be two things that has to happen. One, everybody else should be subordinate to me. First of all, there should be somebody else over whom I should rule. If there is nobody, if He gave me an empty shell of a universe, what am I going to do there? I can do nothing. So they have to be subordinate than me. Who will be subordinate than me? Other souls who also had the same mentality. So firstly, when we come to this world, we come first as Brahma. Because we wanted to be the Supreme Lord, He sends us to this material world and makes us Brahma. Okay, you be the Supreme Lord of this universe. Actually, you cannot be the Supreme Lord of the material world, but I'll give you a compartment called the universe. There are millions and trillions of such universes. And many souls want to be supreme. So each have become Brahma in their own domain. He accommodates everybody. So in one particular universe, we became Brahma. And yes, now I'm overlord. Whom I will rule? First of all, if you analyze, Krishna is supreme, we are subordinate, right? So if we have to be the master, something else have to be subordinate than us. And that's why there is the material world, which is a dead thing. All the elements are dead. We are living. The soul is living, but the matter is dead. So it is inferior to us. So Krishna is kind. Krishna is not, oh, you want to go away from me? Okay, I'll put you in suffering. You go and suffer. And that's not what He did. He gave us facility. Oh, you want, okay. It's not nice, but you asked for it. So, okay, I'll make some facility for you. So He made something that is inferior to us so that we are superior comparatively. Otherwise, we cannot rule. I cannot move this laptop as I want if it is not a dead thing. If it starts protesting, then I have to be careful. I have to not hurt its feelings. So if I have to be having some control, then this has to be dead. So He created dead world. And some other souls who are already having this, we thought it's a novel idea that I want to be the Lord. Actually, no. Many millions and trillions of souls have already tried that. Nothing new. And they have come into this world, Brahma, and they fell down into the worm in the stool and everything happened. They are rotating. And we just entry, thinking we have a big and fresh idea. But actually, we are just came in Brahma. They already were Brahma before and they fell down. And all these subordinate souls are there now in the heavenly planets, earthly planets, hellish planets, human, animal kingdom, everybody. So those who in the previous creations were in a higher or lower, wherever the karma is, they are there. Now, if I want to be the Supreme Lord and everybody in this material world came with the same attitude, nothing new, we did nothing new actually. We thought we were something special, but we were not. Then there were so many others. Right now, if everybody wants to be the Supreme Lord, how is that possible? Logically, how is that possible? First of all, in order to be ruling somebody, I have to have someone. But that person is also having the same aim as me, same ambition. So there has to be some law so that infringement of others' enjoyment should be punished. Everybody has to have their own space at least. So this is why law of karma came. Okay, you can enjoy, but don't encroach upon others whatever is allotted to them by the Lord. Although we wanted to be the Supreme Lord, we could do nothing. Krishna had to create the universe. Krishna had to create our Brahma body, our mind, everything. We are completely dependent on him. But fools that we are, we thought we are independent, we are doing something, ahankara vimudha. But he has to make the arrangement for us to be the Supreme Lord. So, if everybody has the same goal, that I want to be Supreme, then everybody will just kill everybody and loot everybody because I want everything. So, I want to be the Supreme Lord. No? So, I will loot and, what is that? Commit violence on everyone. So, there has to be some accountability. So, I can do something, but I should not encroach. If I encroach, then I am interfering with his own ambition of also becoming the Supreme Lord. So that's why there is law of karma. Now at the same time, while he is giving us facility to enjoy in this material world, he also gives us facility to rectify ourselves. If at all, at any time, we get some intelligence, fools all the way, but at least in some moment of intelligence we get, momentary, then there is some chance to go well. And that happens in human life. In animal life, we are just playing out our karma. We are just, whatever we did in the past human life, that we are now suffering in animals' life, one after another. And that is also not Krishna's punishment. That is also mercy. We'll come to that. So now there is karma, right? So I am given at least human body or demigod body. First of all, Brahma body, and then I commit some sin and then go down and down and down. When human body, or human or above, demigods and everything, they have the power of discretion. What is right, what is wrong. So they can use this. And if they don't, they will have to be punished. Now, when I go subhuman species, so there are 8 million species which are below human beings. They don't have the intelligence of the human being. Intelligence of the human being means really to the capacity to understand oneself and God. That is the real capacity of human being. Others, whatever we are doing, animals are also doing in their own ways. But this is one special thing. So when we go below human beings, when we don't deserve the brain of a human also, then we are put below animal species, snakes, plants, whatever. In those species, there is no right or wrong. It is just instinct. And we are forced, our bodies are programmed to act in a certain way, and we will act in that way without any conscience of what is right, what is wrong. And you may say, why Krishna has to create such such species where there is no thinking also. He's suffering, but he doesn't even know why he's suffering. Now, if I'm punished or something, I'm put in jail, I know why I went to jail. Oh, I did that mistake, that's why I went to jail, so I should rectify myself. That's the whole point of going to prison, right? But if I don't even know why I'm there, and I'm just suffering, then what is actually the plot here? What is the idea? The idea is, we were given the chance to contemplate on our suffering in a human body or higher. We nicely spoiled it. And now went to animal species. And if we had, again, the conception of right and wrong, for whatever the animal does, he will also have karma. He will have to, like if a lion just kills a cub of another lioness, he will have to pay for that. If the lion had this thinking of what is right and what is wrong, and if he knows that is wrong, then still he does it, then he has to be killed. He has to be punished by laws of karma. But like that, when will it end then? If every species of life had this rational capacity, and he is always misusing and misusing and misusing, where is the chance for him to rectify again? He will be suffering and suffering and suffering, and there is no end. So in order to stop our suffering, he actually numbs the brain of all the species below human beings, so that whatever they are suffering is because of a past human life. All the animals that are suffering, all the plants that are suffering, they are there because of a misjudgment in a past human life. So one lifetime of sins will give us millions and millions of years and lifetimes of life in the animal and plant kingdom. And in those, as they're suffering, because they have to pay back anyway. Okay, they have to pay back. Now, while paying back, they should not commit more and more sins so that it will go even further down. So therefore, that rational capacity is none for them. So they just suffer the consequences of their previous actions. And in this way, while doing that, they help in a way. For example, the trees are just standing there, breathing and breathing out, and then producing some fruits, flowers, monkeys are eating, squirrels are eating, whatever. But actually, they are doing some seva, because by the tree just being there, the air is purified. No? So Krishna gives them chance to serve the other living entities and ultimately human beings, so that they can actually advance in Krishna consciousness. Now, if the place is peaceful and people are chanting Hare Krishna, suppose Satya Yuga like this, everybody is peaceful, everybody chanting. So the trees are also kind of serving because they are producing some fresh air, and the sadhus are keeping themselves in a peaceful place and chanting Hare Krishna. So in a way, that is an indirectly Ajnata Sukriti. And sadhus may actually take flower, fruit from the tree and offer to Krishna, and cook and offer and then distribute prasadam to many people. So the trees and sometimes wood comes like this. You see, this wood is standing for years and nice decoration done. Now that tree is where from this wood came. That tree, whoever the soul was, he is benefiting because of. So in this way, sadhus will use, sometimes may use, may not use, how deep in the forest it is. Where sadhus won't go really deep and find some special, Fortunate, you have to be fortunate to get the association of sadhu even as a tree or a plant or animal. Yes. So in this way, when one falls absolute rock bottom to the abyss, after that there is no more down, there is only up. Krishna's mercy. He casts us to the lowest of species so that after that the only way is upward. Slowly and slowly and slowly, we come back to the human form of life. And in the process, sometimes we get huge jumps. For example, if one is a dog, he still has to take many, many, many lives before he can come to human life. But if that dog happens to be somewhere near devotee, and devotee throws prasadam every day, and the dog comes and eats, and sometimes because of affection, maybe some animal or thief is attacking and the dog defends the devotee, whatever, some service. That counts as service, Ajnata Sukriti. Without the dog knowing, he's actually serving a devotee. So for that, he will get huge jump. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said to Sarvam Bhattacharya, what to speak of Sarvam Bhattacharya and his family members, even his dog is very dear to me. Now you may think, why is Sarvam putting a dog in his house? That is not Vaishnava principle. He does not put, but dogs will run around. They don't keep like nowadays, they keep in the house, bed and then sleep with the dog. They are not, Vaishnavas don't do that. In fact, if a dog sees food, you cannot offer that to Krishna also. But I see sometimes some Western countries, devotees, they have a name also, a devotee name, and then their Facebook picture dog, and they're walking the dog in the street and all that. I don't know what they understood about devotional life. They're not supposed to have like close pet like that. Sometimes they, if they're in the courtyard or something, they give prasadam, that is there. But you don't come and touch and all this. It's not really Vaishnava principle. And play with them and eat in the same plate. This kind of stuff is not. It's completely out of Vaishnava behavior. So anyway, so they get chance, and if they don't, and they just go on and on and on, and finally get to human life. And in human life, again, he is given a chance. Doesn't use, go back again. Go back. So you see, if you analyze like this, everything is actually Krishna's mercy. Krishna is never wanting us to suffer. Because he does not want us to suffer, he put us in an animal body so that we don't commit any more mistakes. We will just only pay back our past karma, but we will not create new karma. This is Krishna's mercy. So anyway, but still it is all suffering. How to come out is the real thing. So Krishna sends his devotees. Krishna comes himself. Leela Kaila Subhistara, just now we sang. the song Gopinath. So Krishna comes into this world, performs his pastimes, sends his devotees as acharyas, and they write books and preach. In this way, they try to reach out. Now, without sadhu sangha, this world is a miserable place. So today's verse, if we read again, recap, saintly persons who are friends to all living entities have a peaceful consciousness. They have controlled their senses and minds, and they easily attain the path of liberation, the path back to Godhead. Being unfortunate and attached to the miserable material conditions, a materialistic person cannot associate with them. This sentence, last sentence, actually is not there in the verse, And if you see Sanskrit, this sentence is not even there. It's only devotees' qualities are mentioned. Why is this mentioned? This line then. You may think, oh, how come Prabhupada translated like this? And that's why Prabhupada, once I think Achyutananda or somebody was wanting to learn Sanskrit. He said, Prabhupada, please give me blessing so that I can learn some Sanskrit. Prabhupada said, I'll give you blessing, you go to hell. Why? Because if you know a little bit Sanskrit, you may try to find fault like this. Oh, Prabhupada, how come you put something else? The pride can take over. It's not that Sanskrit is bad, but usually with learning comes pride that we know better. Oh, why did Prabhupada translate like that? Actually, it is Yoga Anushasanam. Why he said Bhakti? The Bhakti Yoga is never mentioned there. How come he translated like that? We may try to question. When we are not mature enough, we will question in a challenging way, in a fault-finding way. But it is not that we should not question. We should question submissively. Like Krishna was saying, 4th chapter, Imam vivasvate yogam proktavanaham avyayam vivasvan mana vepraham manurikshvakave bravit. He said, I spoke to some god spoke to Manu spoke to Ikshvaku, and this way parampara it was coming down. Evam parampara praptam, he said it was coming down, but in the course of time it got lost. So that's why I'm repeating to Arjuna. So what I'm repeating, he was going on, Arjuna stopped him. Wait, what did you say? You spoke to the sun god. How? You are my age. Sun god is so much older, many millions of years. How did you speak to him? He must have already been enlightened and he's already doing his service in this universe. Like, how are you saying this? Then immediately Krishna, what he said? Bahuni me vyatitani janmani tavacharjuna tanyaham veda sarvani natvam metha parantapa. Many births you and I have taken. I remember all of them, but you don't. In other words, he is saying, you were also there when I was speaking to him. In a different birth. I remember that life completely. You don't. Ajopisan navyayatma bhutanam ishwaropisan prakritim swam adhishtaya sambhavami atmamayaya. Then he has said that my body is different from yours. My body is spiritual, therefore there is no decay. There is no decay in my memory as well. I remember everything that happened in the past, present, and everything that's going to happen in the future. I know everything. So he distinguished. So Arjuna questioned. The point is that when Krishna was going on in his flow, Arjuna stopped him and questioned him. So for 2 verses, Krishna actually answers that question and then goes back to his previous flow from 4:7. Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata. Then paritranaya sadhunam. Then janma karma chame divyam. My janma and karma are divyam, not like yours. Jada, material. Mine are transcendental. If you understand really my birth and death, birth and activities, there's no death of Krishna. My birth and activities, you understand, you come out of your birth and death in this material world. Such are my birth and death that if you just learn about them in truth, you will come out of your birth and death problem. Then just, wait, don't close. So you do that and then close so that it won't get itself locked, so that others can still come in. So now question, why did Prabhupada write this sentence now? If we understand, then we will actually have a better understanding of what is going on here. Instead of just challenging Prabhupada, oh Prabhupada, how come you did like this? This is wrong. That is nonsense questioning. But submissive questioning means, oh, this is not there in the. You see, if you unfortunate attached to miserable conditions, let's see the Sanskrit. If any word is there, miserable condition, you see, ultimate abode, idam, yoganushasana, practicing devotional service, not, va, either, this path of liberation, obtain, therefore, persons who have given up envying others, saintly persons, now situated in the most peaceful existence, control over mind and senses, and they very easily obtain. Where is that unfortunate, attached to, and miserable condition, materialistic person cannot associate with? Where is the all? There. What is going on? Yes. It is related to the previous verse. Prabhupada is explaining that. So if you go to the previous verse, Mahaprabhu gave last week class on this. So you see, and it's interesting because Prabhupada mentioned this in the purport of that previous verse translation, but in the translation it is not there. So you see, this is a long prose, right? But there is two words which are the most important in this verse. Okay. Etasmin samsaradhvani nana kleshopasarga badhita apanna vipanno yatra yastamoha vavetaras tatra visrijya jatam upadaya shochan muhyan bibhyad vivadan krandan samharshyan gayan nahyamanah sadhu varjito. This sadhu varjitah is the most important word here. Naivavartate dhyapi yata arabdha esha naraloka sarthoyam advanah param upadishanti. You see this sadhu varjitah, being away from saintly persons. But interestingly, for whatever reason, that did not come into the translation of the verse. You see, being away from saintly persons, sadhu varjitah, is not there in the translation, but in the purport Prabhupada explains. See translation, the path of this material world is full of material miseries and various troubles disturb the conditioned soul. Sometimes he loses and sometimes he gains. In either case, the path is full of danger. Sometimes the conditioned soul is separated from his father by death or other circumstances. Leaving him aside, he gradually becomes attached to others, such as his children. In this way, the conditioned soul is sometimes illusioned and afraid. Sometimes he cries loudly out of fear. Sometimes he is happy, maintaining his family. And sometimes he is overjoyed and sings melodiously. In this way, he becomes entangled and forgets his separation from the Supreme Personality of Godhead since time immemorial. Thus, he traverses the dangerous path of material existence, and on this path, he is not at all happy. Those who are self-realized simply take shelter of the Supreme Personality of Godhead in order to get out of this dangerous material existence. Without accepting the devotional path, one cannot get out of the clutches of material existence. The conclusion is that no one can be happy in material life. One must take to Krishna consciousness. Where is that sadhu archita? But in the purport, you see, by thoroughly analyzing the materialistic way of life, any sane man can understand that there is not the least happiness in this world. However, due to continuing on the path of danger from time immemorial and not associating with saintly persons, the conditioned soul under illusion wants to enjoy this material world. In the purport, he explains this point. And he carries forward that this sadhu varjitaha into the next verse. And this verse is describing the miserable condition of the materialist, whereas the next verse is describing the peaceful condition of the sadhus, whom the materialistic persons reject. Sadhu varjita. Varjita means to give up their association. They associate with materialistic people and they do not associate with sadhus. And that's why all that danger that is mentioned, it is experienced by the materialist because there is no sadhu sangha. This is how important sadhu sangha is. The whole material world will turn dukkhale mashashvatam because of sadhu varjitaha. But for sadhus, For sadhus, this is the position who have taken shelter of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Kaivalyam narakayate tridashapurakaşapuşpayate Durdantendriya kala sarpa patali prodkhata damshtrayate Vishwam purna sukhayate vidhimahendradishcha कीटायते यत्कारुण्यकटाक्षवैभवतां तं गौरमेवस्तु मां विश्वं पूर्ण सुखायते. For them, the whole world, the whole universe is full of happiness. Where Krishna says Dukkhalema Shashvatam, for devotees it is Purnam Vishwam Sukhayate. How is this? Because Yah Karunya Kataksha Vaibhavavatam Tam Gaurame Vastuma, who have the mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu or Krishna, they can live anywhere. So the solution is not really to go back to Godhead. That is the mercy of the Lord, that He admits that He is agreeing to admit us into the Vaikuntha planets again. If we rectify ourselves, that is His mercy that He would take us there. But we should not even think ourselves qualified. What right do we have to claim entrance into the kingdom of God when we have for so long been ungrateful? If we really contemplate on our, like today's song also, Kichu nahi mor guna, Gopinath mama nivedana suno. What is that? Vishay durjana sada kamarata Kichu nahi mor guna. Vishay durjan. This is not visible on the online, but Vishay durjan. I have been a wicked materialist, and I've associated with other materialists, and I'm full of sense gratification, desires for sense gratification. Kichu nahi mor guna. I have no good qualities at all. So why do I think I deserve the spiritual world? Why should I think I deserve the spiritual world? For what reason? Just because I'm chanting some rounds. I'm waiting for when the rounds will stop. There are 16 rounds. Hare Krishna, still 3 rounds. Hare Krishna. That kind of chanting. What spiritual world? We are fed up of our Krishna's name. How we will have any attraction for Krishna? We'll be fed up of him and come back here only. Yeah. So we have no attraction. Pritirna yavan mai vasudeve namuchyate deha yogena tavat. No way. What is that? Okay, let's see this verse. Let's see the Vishwam Purna Sukhayate. Why the devotees are very happy. Narayana Paraha Sarve Nakutaschana Bibhyati Svargapavarga Narakeshwapi Tulyartha Darshina. Devotees solely engaged in the devotional service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead Narayana never fear any condition of life. For them, the heavenly planets, liberation, and the hellish planets are all the same. For such devotees are interested only in the service of the Lord. So when they have service, they don't want anything else. They are happy anywhere, even in hell, they are happy. So that is what is the real purifying thing. The service. So we should not think ourselves qualified to reach the Lord. What was I showing? Lost the track. So the point is, we should not think ourselves qualified to go there. And we should not demand that of the Lord. If He takes, that is His mercy. But a devotee, therefore, all the pure devotees, they ask, Mama Janmani Janmanishwari Bhavatad Bhakti Rahayati. Krishna is, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is teaching us how to pray to Krishna. How to pray to Krishna. We should not want anything material, we should not want anything spiritual also. How ungrateful. If we just examine, for millions of lifetimes we just neglected Him. So if we just think of what we did, we will feel ashamed to ask the Lord to take us back home, back to God. He will be ashamed. But at the same time, devotee prays, please, yes, I am ashamed, but what else shelter I have? Now I have realized my mistake. Please, you save me. Even if you think, Kita Janma how what is that? Tattvavit dāsa, Bahirmukha Brahma Janme nahi aas. So even if I become an insect, if you think that I deserve to be an insect next life, so be it. That is your desire. I am nobody to go against your desire and protest. No. But one thing I ask, let that insect be in the house of a devotee. So that when they, some prasadam falls, some kids eating some prasadam will fall on the ground, at least I can eat something. Or they're chanting Hare Krishna, I can eat, at least the thing will go into my ear, sound vibration. And they're having loud mic and singing, something will go into my ear, at least something. So please give me that. I know that story of the Shuchi and Muchi. Shuchi is the Brahmana, Muchi is the cobbler. Shuchi means clean, Muchi means dirty. So the Brahmana is considered clean, Shuchi. You know the story? Brahmana and the cobbler? You've heard of it? So Muchi means dirty. Cobbler is considered Muchi because he deals with skins of dead animals. So anything to do with dead body, it's dirty. So his whole business is that. His whole livelihood is working with skins of animals. So it's not a very high grade profession. Nowadays, of course, they say, oh, what is that? Gucci bags. Orchard Road. Hi-fi bags, thousands of dollars one bag. DC. Actually, it's Muchi. Nonsense. Complete rubbish. And some of the killing cow. Killing cow and using the skin. And the calf skin, even more delicate, more smooth and nice, soft like this. Fully sinful industry. So, Muchi, so he was, but he was a great devotee. So Narad Muni, you know the story. So he was going and then he meets the Brahmana. Brahmana, he says, oh, you are Narad Muni? Okay. Where are you going? Oh, I'm going to Vaikuntha to see Narayan. Narayan? Okay. Actually, he did not believe. He was saying Narayan. Really Narada. Okay. If you are really, he did not say, but he was thinking like, if you are really Narada, okay, you know what? You are meeting Narayan, ask him how many lives I have before I can go back to Vaikuntha. I know I'm this one life, but I want confirmation. Actually, he did not say like this. I want to know how many. Inside, he was like, I know I'm one life. If he says one life, that means he actually went to Narayan and I can believe him. So his criterion on even believing whether he's Narada or not, or whether he can go to Vaikuntha, whether the answer will come back as one life or not. That proud he was. So he said, okay. Then Narada Muni left there, and then as he was going, he passed by this cobbler. And oh, Narada Muni, he immediately fell flat. He was very humble. Then he asked the Lord also, what is that? Please let me know. No, you are going to Narayan. Please ask him when he will give me audience. Then he said, okay. So he went Narayan, and then Narayan asked, anything special, any news? Of course, Narayan knows everything. Yes, I met two interesting people. Who's that? Suchi Muchi. So both of them asked same question, that how many lives do they have before they can come back to you? Then Narayan said, okay, you tell the Brahmana that he has 100 lives more. 100 lives. Before he can come. He said, all right. How many cobbler? Cobbler has, he's sitting under this banyan tree. Banyan tree is very big. And his leaves are very small. He said, as many leaves there are on that banyan tree, that many lives he has before he can come back to me. Millions and millions of leaves on the tree. Narada Muni said, all right. Then Narayan, I think Narayan asks, right? How does it?
They would want to know what you were doing.
Yeah. So they would want to know what you were doing when I came to meet you. So what should I tell them? So Lord Narayan said, You tell them that I was threading an elephant through the eye of the needle. Like you put the thread through the hole of the needle. I'm putting an elephant through the hole of the needle. That's what I was doing. And tell them like that. And he went back. They met the Suchi, so-called clean person. But inside his heart full of Matsarata, envy. But so he went, oh, so quickly you came back. You really went back on tower. Okay, let me tell me, how many lives you have 100 lives. See, I know you never went. That means you're okay. Okay, tell another thing. What he was doing? No, he was putting this threading elephant through the eye of the needle. See, you never went. I know. You are just a bluff. How is this even possible? What are you talking about? How a needle is so small, elephant is so big? There's no logic. You are just a farce. Get away from it. So Narada left. And he went to the cobbler, Muchi. And then he was, Narada came back. Then he again fell flat, Dandavat Pranam, and then got up. So then, what did the Lord say? Will he accept me at all? He said, you have as many lives as the leaves on this tree. And he looked at the leaves. Wow, actually the Lord is accepting me. I thought I will never be able to go back. Lord is so merciful. Then he was very happy. And he wanted to know what was the Lord doing? What was his Leela? Oh, he was putting an elephant through the eye of the needle. Oh, only the Supreme Lord can do this. And he was dancing. And as he was dancing, all the leaves fell. At least only one leaf was remaining in the tree. That means only one life. After that, he's going back. So, the point is that this Brahmana, so-called Shuchi, but he is Sadhu Varjita. There is no brain. He doesn't know, he cannot even recognize one Sadhu. Whereas this Muchi, so-called Muchi, but he was devotee. So although he was in a not so good profession, but he was pure devotee. So in this way, but the mood of the devotee, you see, he did not mind, millions of lives. He did not feel, oh really, millions of lives. That's bad. He did not think like that. Oh, I was chanting every time and I thought, he'll be more merciful than this. I thought the Lord is very merciful. What happened? He did not question like this. He never doubted the Lord. And that's what satisfied the Lord. We always think we are qualified. And if anything happens a little bit, how come the Lord did this to me? Like I'm chanting, I'm serving in the temple and, how come this thing can happen to me? Suddenly we think we're as good as real Vishnu Dutas or something. So this is how Sadhu Varjita, this is the problem. So we have to be knowing ourselves and Vishwam Purna Sukhayate. Actually, this world can be completely peaceful for a devotee because he is just engaged in Krishna's service. He is actually in the spiritual world. He is not even in the material world. Even though he is visible in the material world, he is actually in the spiritual world. So that's why he is always happy. Vishwam Purna Sukhayate. Everything reminds him of the Lord. Everything is used in the service of the Lord for him. So he does not feel anything material. The miseries we will start to feel only when we are in the center of that issue, whichever situation. When we consider our own sense gratification, our own interest, that's when the misery will start. So in the previous verse, we had all the miserable condition of the person's materialist. And today, the verse is, what is the quality of the sadhu? Very peaceful, and he is, what is that? Uparata Atmanaha. Upashama Shilaha Uparata Atmanaha, who have control over the mind and senses, who are now situated in most peaceful existence, and who are Nyasta Dandaha. What is that? Persons who have given up envying. Munayaha. So, once we control our senses and mind, how to control? By engaging in the service of the master of the senses. Otherwise, the senses will demand something material, and if I supply whatever it demands, it will ask for more. It is like fire asking for more fuel. So when you give the fuel, okay, don't burn, take this fuel. You give the fuel, it will burn even more, bigger. It demand even more fuel. Then you give some more, it will become even bigger. It will never stop. So lust is like that. The tendency of sense gratification is like that. The more we supply, the more we demand, the more it will never be thankful to you for supplying that sense gratification. It will make your life miserable. That's why it is said this was, what is that? Madhya 22:16. कामादीनां गति न गतिधा पालिता दुर्निदेशास् तेषां जाता मयि न करुणा न त्रपानोपशान्तिः उत्सृज्यैतानथ यदुपते साम्प्रतं लब्धबुद्धिस्त्वामायातः शरणमभयं मां नियंश्वात्मदास्ये. You see, na karuna. Usually when you serve someone, the person will say, thank you, He will say something he will be grateful for what you have done, if he is a gentleman. But lust is such that, our senses are such that, they will demand, and if when you give them, hey, why are you not giving me more? Give me more, what is this? Then you give me more, giving more. Why? What is this? Only this much, give me more, what is this? There's no thankfulness at all. No gratitude, na karuna, na trapa, na upashanti. When kamadinam katina katidha. Katina katidha means since when? When I started, there's no trace in history. For so long I have been serving these lust, anger, greed, and envy and all this. But palita durnideshas. Durnideshas means, you see, what is that? Word to word. Undesirable orders. Nidesha means order. Durnidesha means undesirable orders. And made me do stupid things for serving them, serving my lust. Made me do all kind of horrible things, sinful activities. And when I did loyally serve them, and then they said, na karuna, there's no mercy. They let me suffer in this world. And then they throw me more and demanding even more. Na karuna, na trapa, no shame. Without shame I serve them. Na upashanti, desiring to cease. There is no shanti for those desires. But when I started serving, when my intelligence has woken up, you see, oh my Lord, there is no limit to the unwanted orders of lusty desires, although I have rendered these desires so much service. Since time immemorial, they have not shown any mercy to me. I have not been ashamed to serve them, and nor have I even desired to give them up. Usually when bad master is there, you want to, if your boss is very bad, you want to change your job. I did not even want to change my job. I liked my job. Although I have been abused like anything. Still I liked it. So foolish. Recently, O head of the Yadu dynasty, however, my intelligence has been awakened and now I am giving them up. Due to transcendental intelligence, I now refuse to obey the unwanted orders of these desires. And now I come to you to surrender myself at your fearless lotus feet. Kindly engage me in your personal service and save me. So when we engage ourselves in Krishna's service and not give in to the demands of the senses, then we will start to experience actual peace. Otherwise, we will be in pieces. So that is the nature of Maya. So once we give up that and then engage, we cannot give up that unless we engage in Krishna's service. Because if we just give up and not engage in Krishna's service, what are we going to do? Just like suspended in space. What are we going to do like that? Like a camera which is stuck. Those who are live streaming, I think, thinking that I am stuck there. So that's how it will be. They're suspended. I cannot do anything. So I have to do something. It's like asking the naughty child to sit down in one place. Yeah, you can stop his naughtiness for 2 minutes. After that, he will again run around. The better way to stop his naughtiness is to engage him in something positive, so that he's automatically not doing anything negative, and also he's doing something constructive with his time and energy. So Bhakti Yoga is like that. It's the constructive activity. There's the antidote for material activity, which is destructive. So this is possible when we have association of devotees who are peaceful. So this miserable condition in the last verse and the peaceful condition of the devotees are contrasts, polar opposites. And to go from this to that, we have to associate with them. But the problem comes here. If you see in today's verse, 5:14, you see the problem? The only way out of it is association with devotees, and this association is very easy. This door of this temple is open from 5 in the morning to about 11 in the night. It's open. It's not very difficult to come in. We don't have high security. Unless there are like the real dacoits, then we have to have some security. But usually we don't have. It's open. Open longer than the opening hours of other shops or offices. They are 9 to 5, we are 5 to 9, 5 to 11. So ours is longer timing. But so it's very easy. But not many people come inside. If anything, they go outside from here also. Because the door is open, you can come in or go out also, right? So people go out. We have seen that also. Those who are here serving and then do offense and then go out. Now, you see, although unfortunate people also get this opportunity of association with devotees, due to their great misfortune, they cannot take shelter of pure devotees and consequently they continuously suffer. So we do get the opportunity sometimes to associate with devotees. Very close association we can get. But we don't take advantage. We don't take shelter. What does this shelter means actually? What does this shelter actually mean? Taking shelter of the pure devotee means what? Make an umbrella with Prabhupada print there, Prabhupada's feet, and yes, I am taking shelter of Prabhupada's feet. It's printed Prabhupada. Is that shelter? What does shelter means? Huh?
Following instructions.
Yes. Following the instructions. Because yasya prasadat bhagavat prasada. Because Krishna will shelter us from Maya. And shelter also means from sheltering from us from what? Maya. Not like shelter means, I will have a house. One roof will be there on top of me. One umbrella will be drawn. We're not talking about literal shelter. No. We're talking about sheltering ourselves. And it is shelter means it is a defense mechanism. Agree or not? Shelter is a defense mechanism. Defending against something. Sheltering us from something else. Otherwise, no. Why shelter? Open. Kullam kulla. Why shelter? Why close? Why house? Why? No need. But we are sheltering because we have to protect ourselves from the elements. There may be animals, there may be rain or sunshine or whatever. We are sheltering ourselves so that we can have a stable situation. Otherwise, we have to depend on every time the weather. Now, if it rains, we are here. We can still run our programs. Otherwise, we can't, right? So when we say Krishna's shelter of Krishna or shelter of pure devotees means what? Sheltering us from what? Maya. Sheltering us from Maya. So this is a shield. So shield from Maya is association of devotees. The fence, the wall, the rampart is the association of devotees. So if we always surround ourselves with devotees, we can be protected. But this also does not mean just in the physical sense. Because there are many devotees who are in complete proximity of other devotees, but they are not sheltered. They commit offense and leave. That also happens. Why does that happen if they were in the association of devotees? What happened to that shield? What happened to that fort of defense? Because I dug a tunnel there, rat hole, to go out and allowed Maya to come in. That's what happens, because it's not just a physical proximity. Proximity is not association. Proximity means physically close, but that does not mean association, because Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur gave the example of the mosquito on the lap of the king. The king is sitting on the throne. Even the deputy, prime minister or what, he will not dare to sit on this throne. He also sits at a distance below. But the mosquito is so audacious. The audacity of the mosquito is sitting on the lap of the king. And what does it do? Bite the king. So you may say that the mosquito is better than those ministers who are sitting below and then those citizens who are outside the palace, because he is also sitting on the throne. In fact, on the lap, he made the king's lap his throne. King is sitting on the throne, he is sitting on the king. So he must be more than king, or at least equal, associating closely. But actually what he is doing? Biting and taking no advantage of the king's presence at all. How is he taking any advantage of the king's presence? So similarly, we may be in the proximity of devotees, but if we don't engage in Shravan Kirtan, this is 19.152 purport. Okay, when a person receives the seed of devotional service, the seed of devotional service, actually Krishna explains, Bhaktilata Bij. What is the seed? How does the seed look like? How does Bhaktilata Bij look like? Bhaktilata Bij means, Prabhupada explained, the program that the spiritual master gives us to follow in order for us to go. That recipe that he gives us, that is the seed. For any dish, the seed is the recipe. And the ingredients are always there, everywhere. But if I don't have the recipe, I don't know how to make the ingredients look like one particular dish. Like if I want to make, palak paneer, so leaf will look like one thing, milk will look like one thing. Now you have to make it look like something totally that it doesn't look like in the beginning. How to make it look from here to here? Ingredients are there, but I don't know how to make it like this. So if I follow the recipe is the seed. And if I follow, and if I have the ingredients, my mind, all these are 8, Panchabhuta and the 3 Sukshma elements. Bhumi, Apa, Analo, Vayukham, Mana, Buddhi, Ahankar. These act together and act on that seed of recipe and then come with the dish. So similarly, the recipe which the Guru gives us, the program that he gives us, that we can execute on a daily basis, is the seed, Bhaktilata Bij. Now, how much we are a gardener. Now, you see, when a person receives the seed of the devotional service, he should take care of it by becoming a gardener and sowing the seed in his heart. We should take it to heart. I mean, the instructions, we should take it seriously with full sincerity of purpose and water it. What is this water? If he waters the seed gradually by the process of Shravan and Kirtan, hearing and chanting, the seed will begin to sprout. And subsequent verses he explains, it will grow luxuriantly and it will take shelter of Krishna. Lata, the creeper, will have to take shelter of something solid. So that solid thing is the lotus feet of Krishna, where he will grow even more luxuriantly and produce fruits and flowers. And that fruit is the love of God. Now, here, purport. To live with devotees or to live in a temple means to associate with the Shravan Kirtan process. Not just physically living in temple, but actually to associate with the Shravan Kirtan process. If we remove the Shravan Kirtan process from this temple, it is like any other Hindu temple. Useless for all practical purposes. It's a ceremonial structure that serves no real purpose than some concocted pleasure of fanatic religionists, sentimentalists. That's all it does. Real temple means the Sādhus. What did Krishna say? Narayana say? Naham tisthami vaikunthe, naham yoginam hridayeshu va, yatra gayanti madbhaktaha, Tatra Tishtami Narada. I am not in Vaikuntha or in the embassies of Vaikuntha, which are the temples. I am not there. I am not there in the hearts of the yogis who are so-called meditating on me. I am not there. I am there where my devotees are singing about me, glorifying me, discussing about me. That's where I am. Even if it be under the tree or wherever, even in hell, I am there. Of course, the Lord is everywhere, even in the atom. But what does he mean by I am there, I am not there, or what? What is that? He does not like any other place other than devotee. Just like, you go to any country, right? Like I went to Russia. I have no business in Russia. Like, why did I go there? July, we went to Russia. And in the entirety of Russia, which is the largest landmass country in the world, I went to one particular place. Why? Because there is some affection. So it may be far away from the airport. It was a few hours drive from the airport. But there are many places nearby. I could have stayed anywhere, right? But why did I go to that place? Because the affection is what gets me there. If you go to any country, you will want to go where you know somebody. If you know somebody, you will want to go to them first. Right? But if you have any affection, of course, if you know that person and you don't want to be with the person, then you will stay far. You don't even tell him that you are going there. It's another thing. If there is affection, then we will want to be there only. So similarly, Krishna wants to be with those who have affection for him. Of course, he's there with those who don't have affection also. And as Paramatma, he's supplying to them. He has affection for them, but they don't have. But when somebody has for him, he will want to be with them, with devotees. That's why he's always with devotees. He has nothing to do with non-devotees, actually. Even the so-called non-devotees, Rakshas who fight with him, are actually devotees only taking the role of a Rakshas or some demon. Unless they are somehow or another connected with the Lord, they cannot be even having the good fortune of able to fight with the Lord. But through that, he of course tells us that we should not be a demon. But this is the point: to live with the devotees or to live in a temple means to associate with the Shravan Kirtan process. This is association. Once this is in place, everything else will fall in place. There will be common understanding also among devotees because they are every day hearing the same thing. Every day, everyone is hearing about Krishna being supreme and how we should serve and how we should become humble. So everybody is getting tuned to that one message of Krishna. So we will mold our thinking according to what we hear, what we have conversations about. Like if I converse with some businessman, and he will give me tips on how to make some money. Hey, you invest here, you do that, you do this business. Actually, market is good with this one. He will influence, and eventually I will. Okay. Yeah, maybe I'll try. Yeah, try a little bit first. He will say something. Just like we ask people, you chant one round first. He will also say, you try a little bit. Invest first $500 and see. If it grows, then, or if you do this business. So they will give ideas, and then eventually our mind, as we hear, our interest also grows. Like when I was a teenager, there was one classmate of mine who was interested in martial arts, kung fu, karate, and all this. So I got interested because I was his friend. Because he was always talking about this, I used to show some things, and oh, that's nice actually. I got the idea. I never had the idea. I never even thought of fighting or nothing. But after that, I got interested, and then I started. So with association, we get those qualities, and this is like that. What is that? Manivat. Yasya yat sangati pumso manivatsat satat gunah sakuladvaita todhiman swayuthanyeva samshrayet. Who spoke this verse? Hiranyakashipu. To Prahlad. Hiranyakashipu spoke this verse. So this means the Haribhakti Sudhodaya. As the qualities of a nearby object are reflected in a crystal, one similarly takes on the qualities of a person with whom he associates. Therefore, in order to increase one's devotional sentiment in his own line, a wise person should take shelter of those who have the same temperament. So if in a crystal ball is there, okay, you bring some blue color, something of a blue color, the crystal also will look blue. because it will reflect whatever is there. If you bring something yellow, it will reflect. It will also appear yellow. So our mind now, we are like a crystal ball. Whomever we associate, we will develop those qualities. We assume their color of thought. And this is also explained in another way, which is vasana, flavor. Like the air carries aromas. Now, if the air comes from a rose garden, it will smell like rose. The same air, the same molecules of air, if they pass from a drainage, it will smell like black salt. Kala namak. Right? That's how it will smell. So, the air has no odor, but with which place the air associates, it will carry that flavor for a certain time until it associates with something else. Then after that, it will change its flavor. The air actually has no flavor. So we, the soul, don't have any of the material qualities, but whomever we associate with, we develop those qualities. So even if we have been in the wrong family, I mean, sinful family, whatever, if we associate with devotees, we can change because of the vasana, because of the color of the crystal ball example or the flavor example. So we just have to associate. Our miserable life is there, yes. But if we associate with the sadhus who are so peaceful here, it is said, so peaceful, completely in control of their senses and completely contented with their life and fully absorbed in Krishna, fully happy, then we will also, by associating with them, we will also assume those qualities. We will slowly get those qualities, provided we actually associate. In the case of air, in the case of the crystal, the physical proximity is given as the example. But in our case, the mind, it is a little more subtle. It's not just the physical proximity. Physical proximity helps, so long as my mind is also there. My mind is somewhere else, then the physical proximity does help, because usually we are limited to what we are seeing. I can be in one place, but if I'm on my phone, I can see something very far and my mind is there. But if I associate with devotees, then I can associate in many ways than one, more ways than one. Because like those who are watching this live stream or recorded, they are seeing from far. They can only have experience of the audio, video. But we can't serve them prasadam online. They have to come to the temple physically. So the tongue and the taste is not served in the online platform. So there are limitations. And also, it's not just that. When you associate with devotees, then when you actually see them, their behavior and converse with them, class is live stream. How to live stream a conversation? Like you have to call. But it is much easier when you actually are with the person, and then you can have more intimate, connection with that devotee. So likewise, we have to come. That's why temples are important. Where this Krishna conscious movement is an opportunity for people to associate with the devotees. And those who have no fortune, also we offer them association. Okay, you may not take shelter, but at least come once, do something. We invite you to come back, but if you don't, fine. Whatever he has done will not be lost. So maybe next life, we ourselves also are here because of many, many lifetimes of devotees trying to sell us books or trying to ask us to chant, and we idiots, we did not chant. Hey, what you devotees get lost? We would have said all these things before in our previous lives. Slowly, little bit by purification, we are now here at least, willing to listen to Bhagavatam and learn something. So similarly, devotees, whether they take shelter or not, we should give them every opportunity. Sometimes when they're offensive, then Krishna will make arrangement for them to not come to the temple, because that is better for them. Because if they come here and commit more offenses, it is even worse. So it is better that they stay away. That is also there. That is also mercy. If you offend devotees, we will go away from devotees. That is a punishment, but the punishment is also mercy, because then we will reduce our offenses at least. But we should not go that way. Real mercy is when we actually take advantage and make our life successful by becoming Krishna conscious. So, any questions or comments on this topic?
What about 400,000 women
400,000 human species, which are there? So modern science, they say this is what? Species and not, sorry, race and not species. Different races of human beings, like Chinese and this and that. But in our Vedic viewpoint, it is species, different species of human beings. But also the demigods also come under that 400,000 human species. They are much, much higher grade humans. They are also come. They also come under 400,000. So it's not just this one Earth that is being described when they mention like that. It's the whole universe and all planets.
You mentioned that when animals are suffering, it's basically because of their since they have done doing everyone like and they kill other animals. Actually, they're doing that. Actually. So there are people, human beings also who are totally not exposed to doing this. Okay, if they are exposed and then they are not following really, that's another thing. But so, what was the thing? That means they are also doing it.
Yeah. 526.3. So the question for those who are online, I think if they did not hear it, so the question was that animals they don't commit sin because they do not know, they don't know better, they don't know any better. They just are operating on instinct. So what about those humans who are not so advanced in their culture, or sometimes even mentally even deranged, and they commit sinful activities like murder or something, or aborigines, those who have cannibalism in their culture or whatever. Although they're human beings, they don't know any better, and those who are not devotees, pretty much they do not know what is completely right or wrong. Now, to that point, if they are at least in civilized human life, they have some idea of what is right and wrong, even if not completely what is devotional. But at least there are like even human like our country here, or there are some laws at least for humans. To that extent, maybe they can still follow. If he's completely deranged, mentally off, then he may do something which is completely out. But in either case, let's see this answer. 526.3 Srimad Bhagavatam. अथेदानीं प्रतिषिद्ध लक्षणस्य धर्मस्य तथैव कर्तुः श्रद्धाया वैशास्यात् विसदृशं भवति या हि अनाद्यविद्यया कृतकामानां तत्परिणामलक्षणाः श्रुतयः सहस्रशः प्रवृत्तास्तासां वर्णयिष्यामः. Just as by executing various pious activities one achieves different positions in heavenly life, by acting impiously one achieves different positions in hellish life. And actually, if you see word towards Sahasrasha, thousands of different. Those who are activated by the material mode of ignorance engage in impious activities, and according to the extent of their ignorance, they are placed in different grades of hellish life. If one acts in the mode of ignorance because of madness, his resulting misery is the least severe. One who acts impiously but knows the distinction between pious and impious activities is placed in a hell of intermediate severity. And for one who acts impiously and ignorantly because of atheism, the resultant hellish life is the worst. Because of ignorance, every living entity has been carried by different desires into thousands of different hellish planets since time immemorial. I shall try to describe them as far as possible. Now, they have said it's 28 gates of hell, sometimes 29, sometimes 26. Gates only. Inside there are thousands. One gate will lead to many hundreds or even thousands of hellish planets. So yeah, so different, what impelled that sinful activity, whether out of madness, complete, or knowing well what is wrong but still doing it, or out of complete atheism, like how to say, with complete hatred towards God. That is most severe.
This means they necessarily hate God or they don't believe in God.
So those who are not very strong in their opinion, they are agnostics. Agnostic means you don't have really a strong opinion about anything, either this or that. But atheists are right at the extreme. They're absolutely against. Theist means those who believe in God. Atheist is they believe that there is no God. They're against God. So agnostics are kind of neutral. You can actually turn them into devotees. Yeah, they're confused. If I have evidence, let me see the kind of persons. They're on the fence on this issue. But it is still bad. Agnostic is still bad. It's not like it's. They're offenders. Yes. And those who are Paramatmavadis are even more offensive than Mayavadis. Yeah, Brahmavadis. As explained in this purport. 6.169. No. 6. No. 6.168. No. I thought it was 6.169. But this is just Mayavadi ones. There is another. Well, that's interesting. What was that? Sorry. Just give me a moment. Oh, 269. 6.269, not 169. See, this is what happens when you gamble. ब्रह्मे ईश्वरे सायुज्य द्विट प्रकार ब्रह्म सायुज्य होते ईश्वर सायुज्य धिक्कार. Sarvam continued, there are two kinds of sayujya mukti, merging into the Brahman effulgence and merging into the personal body of the Lord. Merging into the Lord's body is even more abominable than merging into his effulgence. So Mayavadi Vedanta's ultimate success is to merge into impersonal Brahman. And yogis who follow the principles of Patanjali accept the personality of absolute truth, but they want to merge into the transcendental body of the Supreme Lord. So Brahmavadis, they don't accept they don't accept the form of the Lord. But yogis, followers of Patanjali, they accept the personality of the absolute truth, still want to merge. That is their desire. So here Mayavadi's position is explained, Brahma Bhuta stage and all that. The followers of the Patanjali yoga system actually want to merge into the body of the Supreme Personality of God. This indicates that they do not want to engage in his service despite their knowledge of him, and thus their position is even more abominable than that of those who want to merge into the Lord's effulgence. These yogis meditate on the four-handed Vishnu form of the Lord in order to merge into his body. Yogis, they meditate on Paramatma to merge into him. When they know he has form and everything, they have to serve him. They want to become still one with him, envious. Patanjali Yoga system describes the form of the Lord as Klesha Karma Vivakashayar Aparamrishta Purusha Vishesha Ishvaraha. The Supreme Personality of God is a person who does not partake of miserable material life. The yogis accept the eternity of the Supreme Person in one of their mantras, Sapurvesham Api Guruhu Kalana Vachedat. Such a person is always supreme and is not influenced by the element of time. The followers of the Patanjali system therefore accept the eternity of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, yet according to them, Purushartha Shunyanam Pratiprasavaha Kaivalyam Swarupa Pratishtha Va Chittashakti. They believe that in the perfectional stage, the conception of Purusha is vanquished. According to their description, Chittishakti, they believe that when one becomes perfect, he cannot remain a person. This yoga system is therefore abominable because its final conception is impersonal. In the beginning, these yogis accept the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but they ultimately give up this idea in order to become impersonal. They are most unfortunate because although they have a personal conception of absolute truth, they neglect to render devotional service and thus fall down again in the material world. Consequently, the path of yoga is more abominable than the impersonalist path. So, any other questions?
Just the Ganda.
Yeah.
Sannyas is to give up.
Give up.
But next to Danda, the meaning it said that
Give up enviousness.
Danda means
Danda means punishment.
away from punishment. Means dark ways involved darkness.
So they don't want to punish anyone. Nyasta danda. If I'm envious, I want to punish that person. Like if I'm playing sports, there is envy involved. My joy is at the expense of his. Because if I'm happy, that guy is sad. So in his sadness is my happiness. So danda. So I want to punish them, and then only I can be happy. That is envy. Nyasta danda. So this conception of wanting to punish someone, so devotee is paradukha dukhi, but non-devotee is parasukha dukhi and paradukha sukhi. Actually, Bhaktivinoda Thakur writes a song like that. Paradukha sukhi sadamithya bhasha, paradukha sukha karo. So he is happy when others are unhappy because he is the best now. Or he is unhappy when others are happy. How come everybody is happy? I don't know. I also want. So he is unhappy. That is materialist. So his desire is always to punish others so that he can be happy. You see how the words are very nicely used. If you really go in deep into this, very, very meaningful. And it really brings out the real nature, the dark nature of our material mind. Anything else?
One more thing
Forgot, huh? We'll discuss.
like salt being present cannot be recognized by a person. Salt is more in the food, it can be found out, and less also found out. So in terms of devotees, is Prabhupada somewhere mentioned that.
So when you remember, you will discuss. You bring out the quote and discuss. All right. Stop here. Granthra Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Shri Prabhupada ki jai. Go Pranam.